So Dan, thanks very much for coming and working on it.
It's
been been a pleasure coming down. Thanks very much for that. I've been wanting to get you on for a little while because your journey is very interesting. So it'd be great to kind of run through it this morning. So thanks very much.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
A pleasure.
So take us back to the beginning. So you started on the tools and now you run operations. How has actually doing the work shaped the way that you actually lead the team that you're now managing?
So that's a great question, by the way. What I feel that even before what I did, I didn't start as a window cleaner. I started actually as a personal trainer, which obviously, I was your personal trainer.
Yeah.
Got you onto your journey. But I think definitely those fundamentals and the foundations that I learned, work ethic, the simple things that I learned in the gym, definitely shaped the way I was going to go about window cleaning. And I used those skills, let's say, always turning up on time, punctuality, doing a good job, taking care, and the pride in what I do. I think I just use that in whatever I do, any walk of life.
Yeah.
And I think I always get a great outcome, but especially on the tools, like you'll know yourself, but for me, quality was a big thing, even from the start.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking about this the other day, actually, is like we had, we obviously knew the standard. It was never actually set when we first started, and there was probably, say, 5 or 6 of us. Never actually sat down and explained the standard. We just knew. Like, we knew what it took. We knew what was required, and we knew the standard, and those standards never ever dropped. But as we've become bigger now, I feel that you have to outline the standards so everyone understood. But the real start of it, we just knew what was required of us and what the standard was.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's always sort of like set those standards, and it's like carrying those through to yourself personally.
Definitely.
And then obviously to the team, etc. that you're working with.
Yeah.
But what I'd like to understand is like, what do you think that is managing people on site? Because obviously you used to lead a team that you had that sort of like you would be there.
Yeah.
You'd be going through you've given them toolbox talks at the beginning, and then you would then be telling them what's being done.
Yeah.
But now you're kind of doing something in the same way, but it's a different style because now you're doing it remotely in a sense. You're kind of translating what you ideally want to happen, but from a managerial point of view to people that probably used to work by your side.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any changing in the way you dealt with that sort of like giving instruction because now you're not there showing them, you're now telling them, but of course you don't want to get that label of sort of like, oh, Dan's now risen up now, he's not connectable or whatever, but because you still got that connection with the guys.
Yeah.
What sort of different skill set did you adopt to manage that transition?
I think it has been challenging because especially the new people that you recruit as well, they necessarily don't understand how you work because they've never worked with you. But the other people who've seen you on the tools with me, have been with me through this whole journey, they understood how I work. So that was easy in respect. So what I think is that the easiest way is leaders have to lead, as in whether I'm in the office or on the field, I've always led from the front. So now I'll go down on site, I'll meet people, the expectations are clear. I wouldn't make anyone do anything I wouldn't find that I'd do myself. Yeah. So it's still setting those standards, even though it's in a different role, it's still exactly the same standards. I have to look after people more now. So again, that's something I love. People love people. And I think it's so much more encouraging if I go down, visually explain things, than just sitting behind a desk. So I think for operation managers, it's vital that you have to be on site, entertaining the guys, speaking to the team. I think that's the real glue that holds the culture together, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're kind of taking it like you can't be on every site, obviously, and manage every team, side by side. But you're managing them from afar, but with respect, you're still going down to site to make sure that they're okay. That sort of that interaction with them on site and actually, that's sort of face to face in a sense.
Yeah. So what you kind of do is we have leaders. So they're leaders, and the leaders lead, and we lead heavily on these leaders. So what you do is you create many versions of these teams. So they all have the same standards, but each one is headed up by a leader. And then everyone has the same values, and then the leaders are like mini versions of me. So they'll have the same ethos, the same work ethic, and they're there to spread the word and do the same job as if it was working next to me. So that's kind of what we've generated. Each team has a leader. Obviously, we work on this, we grow, we work as a team together, and that's something that they understand what I outline, what we want from a job, what the customer expects, but we then trust them to deliver that service. So again, it is like having like mini versions of me elsewhere, but I will also always go and say visit the team, and it's dealing with people. So I understand that people obviously human, they have emotions. So it's about understanding them at the time. So if something isn't necessarily going right and that person's normally spot on, okay, let's delve into this a little bit deeper. oh, this person has that going on. Okay, how can I help you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's very, very important, isn't it? Sort of understand because personalities, isn't it? And managing those personalities.
Definitely.
And like anything, anyone can have a bad day, but you kind of have to understand them.
Yeah.
To understand what triggers them and gets them going and that sort of thing.
Even
Having
on
that
a bad
relationship.
day, you have non-negotiables, right? So the non-negotiables, you're gonna have respect for your team and everyone you work with. Punctuality, you're gonna turn up time, and the standard. So even if you're having a bad day, you can still do the non-negotiables.
Yeah.
So if we work in a team and I know you inside out, again, you spend more time with the people at work than you do with your family. So it's important that you work together and you get on as one. That's why the ethos, you have the same understanding, the same work ethos. Because if I'm about the work and you're just about doing bare minimum, this isn't going to work for long.
Yeah.
So it's about understanding that, but then me picking you up. So as a manager, I look at in the office, on the field, who's might necessarily not be at their best today. Okay, cool. I need to pick them up. I need to put my arm around them. I need to understand what's going to make them perform at this time where they really need me. And I think just dealing with that really excels as an operation manager. Yeah.
I was at a Middleton event the other day, and he was saying that like discipline creates motivation when motivation isn't there.
Yeah.
And it was like doing your daily disciplines, everything you know you should be doing. So like you say, the non-negotiables, because even when you're down, and he explained many tough stories of when he was struggling.
Yeah.
But he knew what he had to do day in, day out. And what he found is when he completed what he knew he should be doing, it then made him feel a little bit better. So it kind of pulled him out of that mental hole that he was already in.
Yeah.
So he said, because someone asked, oh, what's motivation, etc. And he said, no, he goes, discipline creates motivation.
Yeah.
He goes, because once you've done what you should be doing, that motivates you to continue. So like you said, with the non-negotiables, it really is that, isn't it? But it's having that clear structure in place that the guys know they should be following every day.
Yeah.
And if they just do that, then like you say, it kind of makes them go home and feel, do you know what? I'm struggling over here, but I've done a good day's work because I followed these procedures
100%.
or whatever it is kind of thing, you know?
Discipline, it's the key. It's like turning up when you don't want to turn up, when you don't feel at your greatest, but still performing your best.
Yeah.
So there's people out there that you'll never know that they're feeling bad. They'll never know having a bad day because they never drop the service they provide. And I think that's important. It's like understanding that you have non-negotiables, they can't drop. They don't have a chance to drop. You don't allow them to drop because when the bar drops, the service drops. And within our industry, if the service drops, it's game over.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Exactly. And it's reputation, isn't it? You know, so what do you think? Like, so you've obviously gone from transition to obviously being in the gym floor, PTing.
Yeah.
And then gone on to a water-fed pole.
Yes.
And then you went on to cradle.
Yeah.
And then you went on to rope access, went through all your levels. Then, of course, you then become a real senior person in the rope access team.
Yes.
Then promoted to ops manager.
Yeah.
So what skills do you think you've had to adopt by becoming ops manager that perhaps you didn't foresee of having when you first took on the role? Like, what do you think you've developed that's been a bit of a shock, not a surprise, or something you didn't foresee you thinking you had to have?
So obviously the main thing is everything I'd done up to this was practical, wasn't it? So it was actually everything. It was based on me, and practical is everything I've done my whole life. Never really struggled with. It's always physical, practical. Yeah, not a problem. So the side I knew I struggled with was the admin, the emails. So I suffered with mild dyslexia. So that was the biggest fear for me. It's like, it was going to be a major part of my job was going to be sending emails, talking to clients, like dealing with clients via messages, text. And that was something that scared me. But obviously I've always been able to articulate myself, but it was getting it down and making it make sense and not embarrassing myself. That was the first thing. I was like, okay, this is going to be difficult. And then the second thing was, I'm the real bridge now between the business and the team. So I'm looking at, okay, I now don't only see things from a team perspective, but from a business perspective. So how are we still going to make money? And it's delivering that message.
Yeah. Do you need water?
Dry mouth.
Yeah. Just get all of you in it, yeah.
Yes or no? That's better. I'm back.
Yeah.
Back in the room.
Yeah.
So it's basically just delivering, like saying that I'm the bridge between the business and understanding the business more. So I understand that my role it's business related, but it's also people related, and I'm going to affect both. So I have to look out the best for Aquamark, but also have to understand that the team is massive, and to keep them on board, I have to look out for the best for the team. So it's the bridge in between the two. And obviously,
that is like you say, being the bridge, it's really important because you're sort of like the voice in the office from the team, but you're also the voice to the team from the office.
Yeah.
So that's what I think you mean, isn't it? With a bridge,
like
it's kind
the two.
of communicating, but
yeah.
understanding that there's a way that you communicate from the team to the office.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a way that you communicate what the office is hoping to have done to the team.
It's making sure we're
it's really important.
We're all on the same playing field. So everyone's interest is Aquamark to get to where we want to be. But in order to do that, sometimes there may be things that are going on in the office that may affect some things, and the guys don't understand. So it's just going out and saying, oh, actually, we've got this going on, or we've got this going on. This is why you might see this, or you might not see me around for the next 2 weeks because I have to go to X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So it's just the understanding, and it's delivering the message. It's delivering the message to making sure that it's clear. Everyone understands the mission, they understand what we have to do, but it's just that clear communication that keeps the team in the loop, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. No, I think that's really, really, really important. So planning. Obviously, we try and plan as much as we can, Brad's saying, but sometimes it doesn't always go to plan.
No.
So what kind of skills do you think you've learned from that experience, from the planning aspect?
Yeah.
Or perhaps if you look back now, you wish you had perhaps adopted, to proactively plan by seeing this side now, right? Where your operations, you now don't, you would go to site before and you'd only plan for that particular site with, say, 2-3 members of your team. Now you're planning for like 30 odd guys on, 10, 12 sites every day.
Yeah.
So, of course, things go wrong. What kind of systems you put in place or skills that you've learned from that now help you to kind of foresee that and make the better decisions?
I think obviously planning's vital. It's key. Having a correct system as well, as in the information, sure the team have the correct information, it is vital. So they know, everyone knows what they're doing. You've got to imagine that they know the job even if you're not there. So if anyone can walk in, understand from the spec that you've created, that they understand how to do this job. Secondly, have a plan B. Plan B is massive, because if plan A doesn't work, you have to have a plan B and sometimes even a plan C. The best thing I'd say is what we always spoke about, something you installed in me, was the teacup method. Is like, it's staying calm, isn't it? So it's thinking correctly under pressure. So it's like, if things don't go your way, like in life, things are not going to go your way. It's just understanding. It's like, right, okay, this hasn't gone out expected. What can I learn from it? What can I do different? And how can we make the best of a bad situation? So just being calm, because how I am, that's going to impact the guys on site. So if I'm sitting there behind the desk, I'm flapping, I'm going mad, that's going to have an impact on them. But if I sit there and think, do you know what? Don't worry, we've got this. This is how we're going to do about it. They're thinking, I'm now confident that we're going in the right direction. So it's being calm, having plan and backup. But things will go wrong. But one thing is how you react to them. That's the only thing you can control sometimes, is how you react to something going wrong.
Exactly. I think that also spreads a bit of a message that if you're losing your way, then people around you, especially the team, they sense that. And if you lose yourself, then it means you're not really in full control. And if you're not in full control, then they're worrying, because they're thinking, well, this guy hasn't got a handle on it.
It's like you have it from the top. So when you're having, if you're having a difficult time, it spreads through to the company. So management team will see, everyone in the office will see that you're might not necessarily be at your best. It's the same with me with the team. They'll come up to me, actually, are you okay? Because I said, no, I've got this. So what's going on? Are you all right? I say, listen, it's fine. I've got this going on, but thanks for asking. And I think it's just that teamwork and understanding. Like it's that duty of care, isn't it?
Definitely, definitely. So accountability. What do you reckon on accountability?
I think it's a major thing. It's like being accountable, especially when you make mistakes. I think one thing I used to do is, especially growing up as well, very much, it's the ostrich, isn't it? It's like bury your head in the sand, wait for it to go away, and then pull your head out when its coast is clear. Most of the time, it doesn't go away. It's just taking it. If you make a mistake, be accountable for it. And I think in order for you to grow, you have to understand where you've made the mistake and be accountable for it. So I think accountability is like a major, especially in management. I make mistakes every day. I'm human. But it's the best thing is how I learn from making these mistakes in order to not make the mistakes again. And I like to think at Aquamark, we've set an environment where people can make mistakes. And we allow people to make mistakes because, like you say, making mistakes is part of learning. So I like to think that mistakes are going to happen, take accountability of it, but where do we go from there to make sure this never happens again?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's one of the things, isn't it? It's like the whole sort of like blame culture as well is something that is toxic. So we kind of want to steer clear of that.
Spread like wildfire. Like the team, the team for me is major. Let's say the team is like our ethos. So the team is something that we've created with how we are. So I look at it thinking, if everyone's blaming everyone for everything, that's only going to spread. So we like to think, right, sorry, it was my fault. I've learned this is how we're going to do it. And it's like, I think that spreads. If you look for our team, there's very little now. I mean, it hasn't said it has been, because I'm sure there has been people that the blame culture, but yeah, definitely from the leaders, accountability is a major thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the most important thing to you in your life?
Windows. No.
No, what would you consider, what's valuable to you? What's the main thing? What are you doing this all for?
My family. My family are everything. I say I'm going to get emotional now. I don't want to get emotional. Yeah, my family are everything. They're my purpose. They're my why. Yeah.
Why's that? Why's that?
Because they give me purpose.
Yeah? Why is that though? What's a strong point there?
Because I think I lost my dad quite young. And my dad was like my hero. He was my everything. So through a time in life, I was lost. And it's why I always go back to the gym, because I met my partner at the gym. So not only did it instill me these lessons that I learned to go into life, it actually it gave me life because I met my partner. So yeah. And then I never really felt complete until I had my daughter. That's the first time I really felt complete. So yeah, they're the reason now with my son, my wife, and they're the reason I do everything.
And how old your son?
Brooke's 12. Freddie's now, let me get this wrong. He's now 6. Yeah.
So they're the reason, kind of like, well, you put yourself together and you help yourself because that's your purpose.
But do you know what? It's like my stepson was probably my greatest achievement. Jack.
Why's that?
Because I didn't have kids. I didn't understand. I knew how to be a dad because I had the greatest role model in the world. So I knew being dad was easy, but he was the first one. So he taught me the most, and we had difficult times where we probably thought we wasn't going to get through it, if I'm open and honest. But now he sits there, he values me, I value him, and he's probably, the way he's turned out is probably, to this day, probably my greatest achievement.
I think it's because you've got strong values yourself. Like, I know you personally, but you've got strong values yourself, so therefore you've always been true to them. And I think if you're always true to yourself and you hold yourself in high esteem and accountability, then no matter what happens externally, you're always going to be that one shining light, because it's just a guaranteed North Star. So if people around you get lost and you're there for them, you will always be there. They're one shining light, and they may go off the rails from time to time. But if you're always there for them, which you were or you are, then I think that's always going to eventually come through to be a great relationship, and sort of a good support system for you and your family as well.
No, definitely. But that's like, it's trying to instill the principles. Like my dad had values. Like, he was working hard, and it was like, right, he worked hard, and he was always there, he was always present, and he was like I say, being a dad was the easy bit because I had the greatest figure to base it on. So I always wanted to make sure that I was present, and it hasn't always been the case. Like, I've had to work my socks off in the gym. I was there from the start to the end. Like, and it's only now that I've kind of started to get, I say, my weekends back. Like, and it's difficult, but it's took a long while. But I say, Freddie, my son, he's quite fortunate because I can pick him up from school, and my daughter probably didn't have that. She had like, daddy, like, so I'd go back out because I'd be doing double jobs. I'd be going to the gym just to provide. So I definitely have much better like work-life balance now, where I'm there, and the kids really feel that, and you notice the difference.
Yeah,
it's
brilliant. Great. Yeah, that's amazing. So, you touched on balance there. So, what do you think is sort of like the balance? Like, what do you think of that whole work-life balance thing? Being obviously you've now, I know, operations manager, you kind of got more responsibility, more time to invest there. At the same time, I know you've got a growing family that means the world to you. So how do you balance that?
That's probably one of the most difficult things that I found was balancing, because what you do is, I'm gonna be honest, it's probably only this year that I've started to put myself first. Because because always, and you used to drum it into me and used to say that stupid story. Now I use it. It's so crazy. Like on the aeroplane, you put your mask on first before you help other people. Yeah. And I've only now, and I go now talking to the guys. For them, I can be like an agony aunt, but I'm sitting there like delivering these messages that we'd have conversations about. It was like, you got to put you first, because if you're the main cog in the wheel and you're not working, this whole thing stops. So I started to do things that I enjoyed, because I sacrificed myself for so long. I stopped doing the things that I enjoyed, and I kind of probably lost me somewhere. I sold my, like, to work. Do you know what I mean? I'm still on, but I enjoy it. Like, it's not like, work's not a chore for me. Like, I'm at a position where I actually enjoy what I do. And I think that makes a major difference. So I enjoy what I do, the work-life balance. I enjoy being at home. Like, I enjoy being dad. Like, that's the main thing. It's not a hindrance to me. Like, it's an honor to like have that title of being a dad. It's just now started to think, right, I'm going to start to do things that make me again. So, and I think to have that balance is so important. But again, it took me a long time to kind of figure out or what goes where. And I'm still learning it, but yeah, it's tough. But you have to have a work-life balance.
I think you have to understand that. So, like, if you're like, people go through years of not concentrating on themselves, and what happens is you're not sharpening that tool, so it becomes blunt. And over the years, one, you have little to offer new relationships, but also you begin to have less to offer the existing relationships. So you've got constantly sharpening your axe, as it were, to then offer more and more and more, because people grow, and you don't want people outgrowing you. No. Because that's a bad place. So you have to keep sharpening your axe and keep offering them something in the relationships you have, whether it's fitness, mental, physical, whatever it is. I think that's one of the key things that people do forget. And it's so important to have that.
Like, as well, you'll know that it's like, I'll do anything. Course-wise, if you say you're going to, I'll do it. Because I understand the value of learning. I was the same at the gym. So there was like, who wants to, they wouldn't even ask. I'll do everything, because I knew that having that skill set would make me valuable to anyone else. But also I'd come back like buzzing. When you go on a course and you learn something new, it's like, I love it. And there's stuff that I don't really realize now how much of an impact like the gym has on me as a person. So now I deal with people like I did back then, but I'm still using stuff that I learned way back then. So it's like, my advice would just be learn as much as you can. Even if you're going to look short-sighted and think, I don't need that now, you may need it someday. So learn as much as you can, because these skills are transferable. Whatever role you do, you might not need it now, but please believe me, in the future. So learn as much as you can. And you know, you're always drumming that into me just to learn. But I just think going on courses, like sharpening your tools, you never know when you're going to need it. And I think it's so valuable.
So I know we haven't finished the ops plan yet for 26, but what does 2026 look like for Aquamark? What's the big goal? What do you want to achieve this year?
Well, keep that one in. No. So the plan for this year. So we have an overall plan. Like, we always drum in. I don't know if we're allowed to say it, but 100 staff was the end goal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where we wanted to get to. So plan for this year, we want to grow staff-wise, company-wise, but we want to grow at a rate that's steady to us. So nothing will drop. So we're gonna have the same system. We're gonna neutralize our system. The team's gonna be settled. It's just about settling. I feel that somewhere along the line last year, we lost our identity a little bit. And I remember having this conversation with you. It was like, we need to get Aquamark back. And we need it. And we was getting, recruiting-wise, I think we done okay. But I feel that we needed to I wanted Aquamark to be that company again. So when I first started, it's like, if you wanted to join Aquamark, you had to be of a certain standard. I think we lost that, because I think we grew too quickly. So we started to panic recruit. So now this year it was like, okay, it's like every football manager, you go through a rebuilding phase. And I really feel like last year, like we rebuilt in some areas. Like we lost a few, but we rebuilt, and I'm excited the team that we have, because every member of staff that we've recruited is an Aquamark staff. I've now got a backlog of people that want to join Aquamark for the right reasons. So it's not just to find out because they want to be a part of a team that cares, a team that. So even some of the guys that have left, still speak to them now. No one does it like us. There's not another window cleaning company or service-based company that has the ethos that we have. Like, it's the Aquamark family. And I know it's cliche and cheesy, but it really is. Like, when you're in with us, it's a family. So you like cut one of us, you cut all of us. And I think it's so hard to get that, but we have our identity back. we want to keep it. I want to just grow with the same ethos and the same identity. But also is like in an industry where it's tough because things are being cut. Like money's scarce, but I think we need to stay in our own lane because we speak for quality and we always have done. And I think if we stay true to us and what we do, we're always going to be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what does 2026 look like for Dan Gurney?
World dominate.
Just to go to.
Good question. So it looks definitely work on myself. Yeah, quite a lot of work on myself. I have my own individual personal targets that I'd like to hit. Just learn and grow. I think that's every year is like learn and grow, experiences with my family. That's what it looks like to me. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but
so all right. Well, let's try it. So imagine the I am statement. Have I told you about this?
But I am the one.
So so you've got the I am statement, and what it does is it states that in a period of time that you set, 1 month, 6 months, 12 months, whatever, 5 years, 10 years, whatever you want to do. So let's just say by December 24th, when we shut for Christmas this year, that you're going to say, I, Dan Gurney, I am.
Mm-hmm.
So you can say, I weigh X amount of, if you want, or I can run this, or I know about this subject, or I earn this much money. So you speak about it as if it's already happened.
Yeah, I understand.
So do a quick rundown of sort of like, so.
Oh, that's a tough one.
By 24th December, I am.
Going to have the rest of the year off. No, by the 24th of December, I am going to be happy in myself.
Yeah.
As in, what a way. I've lost I lost myself. I know how to do it. It's just doing it. So even myself, I'm on a journey now, having no fizzy drink a month. But that was a big thing. You didn't realize when you let yourself go, sometimes you don't realize like how far you slip.
So, I think because it happens incrementally. So you have sort of like 1 to 5% change daily or weekly. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you then have a month later, it's another 1 to 5% change.
I think you encourage you
when you
make
look back
for it. Do
you do. Yeah.
Well, I'm all right. I haven't done that much, and then you're like, oh, geez.
It's only when you look back over a certain period of time, you realise it's actually quite a massive leap. You know, like good or bad, whatever.
Yeah.
But what that does is, so I flip that. I think, okay, if you've neglected a certain area or you've deteriorated in a certain area by 1 to 5% gradually, and over a period of time you look at it's actually a large jump, then you can switch that and say, don't get down by it. Like that Paul Beck mindset coach is sort of like catch yourself thinking. You can switch it and say, okay, well, if I can neglect that much, or if I can, I don't know, degrade myself or whatever it is, or that much in that period of time, I can switch it, but in a positive way.
Yeah, of course.
So you don't sit there and think, okay, I've come this far, I might as well give up. No. All you got to do is switch it. Now, instead of making negative decisions, make positive decisions, but you're going to have a look at that same time scale. Yeah. So over 1 month or 6 months, that same ratio is going to improve whatever area it is you want to improve in at that same time. Do you know what I mean? But it's daily and weekly improvements. You won't be able to see it, but look at it over a month and 2 months, and that's why you have that end of the month review. And that's huge differences. And those are the wins that keep you going on the journey.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know, so
that's that. I'm going to definitely, this year I wrote down, it's the year of celebrating the small wins. Because I think that you can put your head into work and life so much that you necessarily don't celebrate the small wins. And even last year is like, we didn't really celebrate the wins that we had.
No.
You focus so much on the negativity and this, and actually it's only when I started this LinkedIn journey, I started thinking, we had a good year. Like we actually done all right. Like we achieved some amazing things that probably wasn't even possible like 5 years ago. Yeah. But we never really rewarded it. I was like, oh, well done team. Yeah, that's it. Like, no, like they're major things. Yeah. So it's like, right, don't forget like the small wins. And then obviously social media links in with me. It's like, I like to say I'm pretty decent at my job. I don't know, the guys might say different, but I'd like to say I'm okay at my job. But we sat down and you said, I'd like you to be one of the leaders in what you do. Straight away, I batted you away. I thought you're joking. Like, because I looked at these other people, these speakers, and I looked at that and I thought, do you know what? I'm nowhere near them. When I actually dissect like my input, I'm actually quite valuable. I actually know more than I let on. I put myself down quite a lot. So I sit there and like with the LinkedIn, it scared me, and now I'm giving it a go. We're doing all right. We're getting out there, but I want people to look at me and take something from my story, my journey, and say, you know what? I was like that. I was lost. I didn't know where to go, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. So I just want to inspire people, whether it's people going through the same situation me, people are stuck. Yeah, I just want to inspire people. I think that's like a major thing for me this year, is like, be like an inspiration if you can.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, Phil, thanks very much, Dan. Thanks for sharing that.
Thanks
That's brilliant.
Thanks for making me cry.
Yeah. No, cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thanks.